Hey friends, welcome back to Lemon Tree Corner. If you're new here, hi, I'm Heather. If you're not new here, welcome back. It's great to have you back. In the studio this week, I'm still stuffy and recovering from a cold, so we're going to take it a little bit easy. Getting old sucks. It just takes longer and longer for me to recover from things. So we've got the rest of the Haralson bags to make. I only have hardware for 3 of the 4, so we're going to knock out those 3. We also ordered a new display for our craft fair booth. Since I'm doing more indoor things, I'd like to have some panels that I can hang things on, and it breaks down into 2 pieces, so I think it's just going to be easier to transport and set up. And then it is on to Sister Appreciation Week. So it is my sister's birthday this week. Happy birthday, Kelly! So I'm going to make her a present, and then we are also going to make her coin purses. So she is going to a scrapbook retreat, and her gals are called the Busy Bees. So she requested that I make some coin purses with bee fabrics, so we've picked out these fabrics. And I don't know if I'm going to have enough of the zippers, so I think I'm just going to alternate zippers, if that's okay. And I have to remember how many we're making. 8? I can't remember how many we're making. So I'll have to ask her that. And then, my sister's very into cows. We found this cow fabric at Joann's with this one. So I was thinking of making her one of those large project bags. So I was thinking of making her the large size project bag. And she wanted me to try doing handles all the way down. So this will be a prototype as well. We'll try doing the handles coming down just for a different look for this bag size. And because I'm still recovering from a cold, we have our nice hot cup of tea courtesy of this week's cup of coffee sponsor, which this week is a cup of tea sponsor, who is Carrie. Thank you, Carrie, for making a donation. When donating, Carrie said, "Glad your beautiful project bags sold so well and made your efforts worth it. Looking forward to seeing what you combine for the newest style bags. Enjoy your coffee." Thank you, Carrie. It's nice to have my comforting cup of tea for this week. And if you would like to become a cup of coffee sponsor, you can go to www.coffee.com/lemontreecorner to make a donation. You can donate whatever amount you want. You could give me a cup of fancy coffee, a skein of yarn, a yard of fabric, whatever tickles your fancy, and I'll give you a shout out in one of our videos. So we are at the end of our 3-day Memorial weekend, and I think the week after next we start on 4/10s for the summer, which means I get Fridays off, which is great. So I have extra time to make all these bags that we've planned out to make, which seems daunting, but I know that we'll get it done. It's all good. I also wanted to share with you my recovery sick project. I balled up the yarn for my Moonlit Shawl. It's funny because I picked yarn very similar to that. So I'm not sure I read the pattern quite right, and I wanted to make it a little wider than it was, so I just kind of kept doing more increases than were on the pattern. And I marked the last increase row and the last in-between row, and now we're on the middle part. So I'm hoping I'm going to have enough yarn. I really only needed a little more than 1 ball of yarn, and I have 2 balls of yarn. So I'm hoping that I will have enough. When I hold it up to myself, we are about here. So I think I'm just going to keep going with the regular rows until I get to the other side of my neck, just so that it's long enough for what I want. And we are using this beautiful yarn. Looks very peacocky. This is our Ba La Jolla yarn in the colorway Love Your Store 2024. So this was a special for local yarn store day. So I got that in my cutesy project bag that I kept for myself. And I also just kept that sweater bag for myself with the gnomes. So that was my treat for doing the show. And I'm also continuing with my gratitude journal. So let me know down in the comments, have you started a gratitude journal? Do you journal? What are you grateful for? Let's all just take a moment to be grateful for all the wonderful things in our lives. And I'm very grateful for all of you who come back and visit with me every week. I love to have you here. I love to see the likes and the comments. It just makes me feel like we're all sitting in the living room together having a chat. So we're going to finish our tea and then we are going to get started with this week. Let's go. I think that looks very professional. And I could put stuff on the bottom. The nice thing about the hooks also is that I can have more than one item of the same kind hanging out here. I think that'll work well. And like my husband said, if I hang stuff on both sides, it will be more stable and I'll have more display room. So I guess it just depends on if I'm in a booth next to somebody else or not. If I have the back area available to me. I mean, it's pretty stable. Of course, all my bags are pretty empty and light, so yay! I think that looks really good. It is way past time that I write a thank you card to Annette and the staff at the Knitting Tree LA for helping me achieve my dreams. So that's what we're going to do right now. So that's, since my sister and I's trip to Joann's was very spur of the moment, I decided to get some 40% off baskets, or boxes that I like to get. So we've got our fabric. I've got much more than that. That's just, oh, my change. That's just what we got in the second box. So we've got like those two go together. So these are mostly project bags, which I'm going to make for the next yarn crawl. So I want to just catalog all of these and get photos before I forget what goes together and that kind of thing. Okay, so I'm going to be a good girl and make the Haralson bags clean all of this out before we start on the next project. So everything's cut and ready to go. I'm just gonna refresh myself with the video. We're gonna grab the first one here, our Bridgerton one. I like to call that the Bridgerton one. Friends, I had a rough day today. I had my first iron infusion. Had to go and sit there, and I was super anxious about the whole thing. I didn't know how I would react to the iron, and of course they give you a long list of side effects and some are deadly and you're like, so really rough day. They also pump you full of Benadryl before they do the iron infusion. I think that's partially for, any allergies you might have to it, or maybe just to calm you down. So I was just floored, like didn't do anything for the rest of the day. So that does not bode well because I have to do 4 of these. So this was the first one. I have to do one each week on Friday. In one way, it's good that it's on a Friday because it did knock me out. And we start our 4-10 schedule next week, which means I will have Fridays off work. So I will have the whole day. I can just sit in my PJs and fall asleep on the couch. But it means I don't get some of my Fridays off, to be a sewing machine and all that fun stuff. So I'm having a cup of tea tonight and worked a little bit on my sister's bag. We're actually going to go over to my mom's house tomorrow night and take my sister out to dinner for her birthday. So I'd really like to have the bag done by then. So we'll see how far I get. I was able to do all the interfacing and everything. So it should just be a matter of sewing it together tomorrow. So that bodes well. We also have the shawl. We have the Batwing shawl, the Segue shawl, that we need to block. And my mom has volunteered her guest bedroom for that. So I will take you along tomorrow. I think I'm going to wash it here, roll it up in a towel, and then bring it over there with all my blocking boards and my pins. And there's a very specific way you're supposed to block it out, and I just don't have the room here. So looking forward to that. Oh, and I wanted to show you progress on the shawl. So I have been working on this shawl. It's a scarf. Let's call it a scarf. I've been working on this scarf. Well, it's a shawl. The Moonlit Shawl. So very pretty. And it's funny because I picked a very similar color scheme to the one in the picture. How weird is that? I mean, it's more teal, but you get the idea. So, thank God there's a chart because I don't really read charts, but this is way easier than the instructions. So we are on the penultimate row of the border, looking very cool. So looking forward to this one. Hopefully I can finish this weekend, and then we can move on to our new project. So excited about that. Yeah, I couldn't really follow the pattern. I kind of fudged some parts and I made it way longer than the pattern said to make it, but for some reason it worked out with the border. I guess because I did the same number of repeats, just added more repeats, so I don't know.
So weird, got no choice. If it's true, let me know. Just the same mistake. Every second comes and breaks. It's so weird.
So we're all ready to start sewing this morning. And I'm gonna get started with that. The only thing weird that we're doing is we are going to need to attach the straps to the bag here. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do the top stitching on the handles, and then I have to attach them to this outside panel before we sew it all together. So that'll be interesting. This will be our prototype for that, and see how that works. I'm just afraid it's going to be a little bulky, so that's my only fear going into this endeavor today. Okay, so I just made the handles with the fabric for now. So they're really long. They're like 40 inches long. But I think by the time I sew them on here, they're going to be the right length anyway. So I just wanted to give myself the leeway to make them as long as I can. So what we are going to do is we are going to sew them onto the exterior top before we sew the bottom, exterior bottom on, so that they're kind of contained within the seam, so we don't need them going all the way down to the bottom and not making the bag lie flat. So we're going to stitch these down. We're going to leave a certain amount up at the top where they're not stitched down, and we got to figure out how much we want to leave in the seam, because we want the strength in the seam, but we also don't want this bulk. It's going to be bulky. So this is why we are experimenting. I want to make sure that this is the right way around. My stitching looks its best.
As you came out of nowhere from last in place, and you said there's a bumpy road to the
And as usual, I just went over this once or twice since it's a bulky spot. And then when we press, we'll just press down so that the handles are extending the right directions. We're not trying to twist them back on themselves, but that looks very pretty. I think if it was to go all the way down, first of all, it's a waste of fabric. Second of all, it's just going to be wrapping under the bag, and they're hard to line up. So I think that's going to be best. And then because we didn't sew them all the way to the top, we've got our space here to attach our zipper.
Is this love?
Okay. All we have to do is sew up the hole in the lining. Now, unfortunately, I totally forgot to change the measurement on the lining piece and the bottom. So we have had to cut it a little smaller, so there's really not much of the pink showing through. I'm sorry, Kelly, I messed it up. So I had to fix that. It should have been 17.5 by 16. For some reason I changed it to 14. I don't know why, because I had the fusible fleece correct at 16. So I had to cut down the outside to match the lining, otherwise the lining would have been really small, but super cute. I did the rainbow zipper with the rainbow heart. So super cute, and I'm just gonna sew up the hole in the lining, eat some lunch, and then we are ready to hand this off to its new owner. Hey friends, so we're just about to head out for my sister's birthday. So we have our Segue Shawl that we need to block over at my mom's house. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wash it here first in the sink, roll it in a towel, and then bring it with me damp, just because I think that'll be easier. I have this handy dandy thing so I don't have to clean out my whole sink every time I want to do this. It's even got a little drain in it and a piece of fuzz from the last thing we blocked. I'm going to fill that up, and then I also have the Outback Gold Wool Wash and Conditioner.
Is this love?
Okay, we have it all laid out. We had just enough blocks. It's not as much of a curve as I think it should be, but we've got all the points defined, and we're gonna let it bake for a week and come back. Happy birthday, Kelly!
Thank you! Oh, so cute. It is cute. I love the strap detail
Your idea?
and pockets inside. Some two little ones for crochet hooks and a card. Oh, thank you, Heather.
We are on to the coin purses. I put the label in the middle, and we only have a few labels left out of our pack of 300. So this is the original pack of labels that I ordered, and I've probably got like 10 left. So that's amazing progress. So we're only making 5 of these. I'm going to make 3 with the yellow zipper and 2 with the blue, just to have a little bit of variety. So we've got the blue ones for the blue and the yellow for the yellow. So we're going to get these all cut out and start assembling everything. Hey friends, so that's it for this week. We got a lot of stuff done considering that I had my first iron infusion and everything. I'm still a little bit groggy, so I'm hoping it really kicks in over the next 4 weeks and I have more energy. But let's take a look. I already showed you the bag I gave to my sister. I already handed that off, so don't have that to look at, but we do have our bead coin purses. So these are the ones she asked for. We've got the blue fabric in the middle, and then I've got 2 with the blue zippers and 3 with the yellow zippers. We've got our cute zipper pulls, if you can see that, and then we've also got like a little hook that you can hook these onto. So very happy that these are done. And we also finished our shawl, so let's take a look at that. It's all done. It's so cute. Okay, so this is the Moonlit Shawl by Cherry Heart Design. It's pretty easy. It's mostly You know, these rows are mostly double crochets, and you're just increasing, 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 straight, 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 decreasing, decreasing. So very nice. And then this border is really nice. It's like a 6-row border, and each row is different, but just makes that really nice shape. So I made it a little longer than the pattern, and it's a little wider as well so that I can tie it. So I've got some nice ends to tie here. So we're gonna sew in our tails, and then I'll block this once I get all my blocking boards and stuff back from my mom's house. Just so pretty. I can start wearing it this week. Just because it's not blocked doesn't mean I can't start wearing it in the office. So that's nice. And then next week we will start our new shawl. So very excited that I knocked this one out and we can start with the new wool. So instant gratification to start with the new yarn that we got from the yarn crawl. So very excited about that, and thank you once again to Carrie for buying me a cup of coffee. I really appreciate it. And thank you very much for coming along with me this week. It was a little bit of everything, but hopefully it was enjoyable. And I wish you a wonderful week ahead. Love you, friends. Bye.
Let me tell you this, let me tell you right now, your exquisite kiss still burning. Didn't know I missed this passion in life. Now I'm addicted somehow. Let me tell you what is up with your smile? It's impossible, not melting, irresistible. When I look through your eyes, not even sky's the limit.